The only thing defensible about it I can see is the animations are really sick. You got to see those animations in action.
The little crab thing is
The
that
crab
part's cool.
arms things for the cargo that stores it. That's very cool. I will give them credit there. That's very cool. But why? Why? This was such a weird choice.
The thing is, though, now that you say that, I can't unsee it. You're absolutely right.
They were claiming, let's talk about that first, because I was going to go in a totally different direction.
You can make as much money as you need and work your way towards any ship in the game.
They were trying to cash in off of that nostalgia and that hype.
Boom, 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 baby. Open Comms Radio.
All right.
Your Star Citizen call-in show. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
I'm Jar Jar.
And I'm Tav.
And today, we two friends are going to do what two friends usually do on Wednesday nights. Get together, talk a little bit about Star Citizen, see if anyone else wants to come in and join us and talk to us about the goings-on of the verse. And every week we have a special question.
Ooh, yeah, and this week?
And this week we have a very special question. Do you need friends to play Star Citizen?
Ooh.
What do you think?
I think it's a great question. I don't know how you can come to, you can come down either way. Like, there's the obvious answer, but I'm curious to see if it's like, I just don't think you get a lot out of it without,
without friends? Oh, I see.
I just think you really, the return on it of the experience it gets so much higher with friends. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think you're not getting the full, anything close to, I think, what the experience offers without friends.
Right. You're getting a full return on investment with the friends.
Exactly.
It might depend who your friends are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that definitely can.
I've run with some crews.
Sour things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we've run into some folks who are not eager to pick us up when we fall.
Yeah. We got a good crew. Good crew.
Maybe we land our freelancer, Durr, and they go, "Why are you driving that penis?" And you go, "That's
because I love it." Just scream it right out the window.
Because it's mine and it's special. It's like nobody else's.
What's that one? This is an 81 Honda. How dare you?
Yeah. Well, we had a lot going on this week. We had we have a lot going on next week, and everyone's leaking it. Every week now we have one kind of leak or another. We have the Prowler leak, which I think Tav.
It's a fun leak. Yeah, we talked about that a bit last episode, right?
Well, I think you knew it was coming. You had an inkling.
It was the less excited option of the ideas, but it does seem like it is kind of that one utility idea.
Well, now that you've seen the new Prowler, how do you feel about it? Prowler fanboy.
It was not in the brochure. This mission description, it was just not in what you thought the ship would be built for. But
I do wonder what this Prowler is built for.
I guess it serves a purpose, right? Because maybe there is an advantage to having, getting cargo in and out on a more stealth ship. But we don't even use the Prowler. Granted, the Prowler doesn't even work and hasn't really worked for 4 years. So maybe that's why we don't see a whole lot of them.
Well, supposedly it'll work now.
I'll play the game more. I'm excited.
I thought it was going to drop like some kind of like small tank or something, not cargo.
Yeah, something Asperia type. Yeah, no, it was a very weird direction from my perspective.
Wow. Well, we have some callers in the waiting room.
Yeah, let's go. Let's dive right in.
They've been diving in. They've been playing. This first guy here, you'll know him. You'll love him. Our resident hobo, Cosmic Hobo. Welcome to Open Comms Radio, your Star Citizen call-in show. Thank you for calling in today. Cosmic, our question for you, do you need friends to play Star Citizen?
It definitely improves the experience. It
Okay.
is a multiplayer game. You can do lots of different loops by yourself if you so desire, but to really unlock the true experience of the game, it helps to have friends. So, yeah.
Okay. Do you ever play alone without friends?
Oh yeah. I used to play alone all the time.
What
I've
happened?
I would burn out pretty quickly. That'd be kind of the issue is when you're playing with friends, you have people to share the good and the bad, we'll say, of the game,
The fun
and that
bugs.
yeah, there's fun ones, and honestly, playing with friends, playing with a group helps overcome a lot of those bugs too. Because sometimes if you're by yourself and you get stuck in the geometry or something,
Yeah.
you're stuck there.
That's a lot of fun though, having your buddies pull you out of it.
Yeah, they can knock you out, or sorry, bud, gotta shoot you in the leg, and they drag you out. Like there's things like that. There's bugs like, or if you fall out of your ship, if you're by yourself, you're just like, well, all right, time to take that cyanide pill in my tooth and head back to the med bay.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
But
what it is? I
playing
thought it
with
was just
people,
giving up.
it's so nice playing with somebody else just because you do have all those instances of like, oh
yeah,
my gosh, how'd I get stuck in the wheel well? Somebody moved the ship.
it's like
Yeah.
traveling. Everyone should travel alone at some point or another throughout their life. But honestly, traveling with a partner or with a group it can be very beneficial of an experience.
I hear
Absolutely.
that. Oh yeah. Having someone to go to the coffee shop with?
Having someone to hold your stuff when you need to go to the bathroom, like having someone to just
Yeah,
sharing
watch your stuff.
expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's just so many things that traveling in a group or even just in a pair helps out with. Like there's limits to which like and the same applies to the game. If you're in a massive group of 16 plus people like we've done before with Red Scar, you can kind of just fade to the background, which some people like. Some people like just being able to fade to the background, but you're also maybe just kind of there along for the ride, and it can get kind of crazy and a cacophony of voices, and I blame Discord's poor voice management tools. It's I miss Mumble and
Just
TeamSpeak.
fade into the background.
What did
Yeah.
Mumble do for you?
They had better speech permissions, so you could have hierarchies in voice
Oh.
channels, and you could sit in multiple voice channels too. Something that Discord doesn't really like. It doesn't really work for that. If you want to sit in multiple channels at once, you just can't. Not really. But
So
with
where would I be
Mumble,
in your voice hierarchy?
oh, it depends on the operation. If we're in a big old group, we'll say a 20-person fleet where we're running a big operation, you can break into squads, and so you can have those little personal chats that you can't really do in a 20-person Discord channel without pissing off at least 5 other people. Like,
Well,
hey, dude, they fell into that. That's so funny. And then chatting about different things, which you could do if you were in your own kind of squad channel.
well, you have squad channels in Discord.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
doesn't
but
it's not a
they're
Separated.
real master
clunky. It's
command channel. You still have to use another communications.
You need to buy a
exactly.
Stream Deck, maybe. The thing with the
It, it,
buttons that everyone plugs in.
yeah, have Murph click buttons to go back and forth between different channels to do command functions. Yeah, I guess it just doesn't. It's not as intuitive as every other voice software for the last like 20 years has been. It's just Discord was like we're like we're going to grab Skype's capability essentially for calls and leave it at that with maybe a handful of additions.
Yeah, you'd think they have a plugin or something for it by now.
You'd think, or a bot even, but they rely way too much on bots. It's lazy. They need to actually design more features for that sort of thing.
Well, speaking of designing features, and communications, CIG's making some headway supposedly in their guild and communications Moby Glass apps. So maybe we'll
Yeah,
be off Discord soon.
I hope so. I want more in-game and, to use the I word, immersive
Whoa.
communications. Like,
I'm up for that too.
I want us in our ships and then have command channels in which we can talk to each other in different situations, but then we can just talk while we're sitting around, jumping somewhere. Like, there's that kind of laid back ability to just talk. You know, in the movies, like or like Generation Kill, when they're just having those chats, you can't.
Yeah.
But they have command come in every now and then, like, all right, command says we got to do this. That sort of thing. Like, it's hard to have those kind of relaxed chats in a large operation. I know everyone wants to be tense and paying attention, but there's got to be some downtime where we can just chat. And comms discipline gets messy when you just want to chat, and some people just want to chat, and it's
There's
annoying when
the proximity. I always have a tough time with it, but I mean, I hear, is it still working for everybody else? The proximity chat right now?
kind of breaks. Like,
Yeah,
it
that's the
doesn't seem to
thing.
have been designed for more than like 50 people talking at once on a server.
Well,
Like, it was like on a server though, like a whole server or shard,
well, okay.
whatever
I
they
mean,
want
if
to
you
call
have
it.
50 people talking, you're not going to want to
Well,
hear them
yeah,
all
no, God,
in
no.
the same space, you know?
But like, I
Although
think it
maybe you
has
do.
a weird cap where they never really designed it with the sharding in mind. So it just kind of craps out.
Well, it's like a legacy thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, okay. So, Cosmic Hobo, you say we do need friends. I'm knighting you right now. I'm doing a
Okay,
thing with my hand. You can't see
thanks.
it. But you are our resident mole.
Okay,
I don't want to call you a leaker because
all right, yeah, fair enough.
I feel like it's not nice.
That
But a
could be a
mole.
whistleblower. Yeah, yeah, all right.
Well,
Eh.
whistleblowers like they're doing something wrong. I don't mean that. I just want like
All right, yeah,
intel, and
yeah,
you always
yeah, yeah,
provide
yeah,
the
yeah.
intel.
I'm good at that.
So if you have any intel,
Yeah. You've already sort of covered the Prowler variant. We know more about it now, and it's
Mm.
going to be, like many ships, ridiculously overpriced for what it is. But it is the Prowler Utility, and yes, that is its name. That's it, Prowler Utility. 32 SCU. We're not entirely sure about its stealth capabilities yet. I've not seen positive things about its low emissions. It seems to have high emissions for what is supposedly a stealth ship. The weapons got downgraded because it's a utility ship, and I personally think it's still going to be obscenely priced at like $400 because, of course, CIG would do something like that for 32 SCU.
It seems in such a weird space, like,
It
because I just
is.
don't know who asked for this. Because I think most Prowler owners would be, I mean, out of all the variants I was talking about, they would be like, oh, so no bad recon package. Like, wasn't this whole thing designed to be a stealth drop ship? I mean, I'd be okay with losing, I mean, hell, drop the size 5s on the wings and
Yeah.
give it some other function, like, but cargo just seems like a weird, it just
The
wasn't
only
built for
thing
that.
defensible about it I can see is the animations are really sick. You got to see those animations in action.
The crab, yeah, the little crab thing
The
is, that
crab
part's weird.
arm things for the cargo that stores it. That's very cool. I will give them credit there. That's very cool. But why? Why? This was such a weird choice of a variant. Like,
yeah,
there's a long list of other things that even with the current gameplay mechanics they could have done. Like a bomber
yeah.
variant. I would have loved a stealth bomber variant. Like ground bomber or even a torpedo bomber variant. Like there's so many options, and they went with the most boring and probably pointless one, which is cargo.
Well, you gotta
Sorry,
get your
utility.
boxes.
Yeah, it's such
Yeah.
a, I could see maybe a use case if the stealth is that good, but
Mhm.
that's it. Like, that's such a,
But yeah, that's
Well-
the big one. The only other things from the leaks is that we have ideas of what the referral rewards are going to be. We don't know what you're going to need to get them yet, but there's another Gladius. Spoilers. Another Gladius is not a Gladius in gold, though. It is a Squadron 42 themed Gladius.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
A Pulse. There's a Pulse also. Some statues and hanger flare kind of things. It's not.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, some paint, statue, the Gladius, the Pulse. It seems incomplete, and my
Well, they're teasing you,
guess.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
my guess is going to be, oh, we're going to start with this, and then next month we're going to add more, and then the month after that we'll add another tier, and we're just going to just keep teasing you with more. Like people are going to just get 1 billion referrals right away, which okay, the
Well,
streamers will, but
Speaking of
that's
people
it.
who like to be teased, we have our next caller is in the waiting room. We're gonna bring him
Let's
on up here.
go.
Tav, you want to introduce our friend here?
Yeah. Welcome back to the show, Duke Leto.
How's it going?
Good to have you back. We got another question this week, which is do you need friends, Duke?
No, I am flush.
Lucky
Honestly,
guy.
I could
Rich
I
man.
could do with dropping some.
Oh, are we doing this now? Okay, all right. Well, I wrote a poem for you.
Okay. Do you want to read it now, or do you want to do that later?
If I have to read it now.
No, we'll wait.
Okay, thank you.
We'll wait.
My heart's
Oof.
racing.
So is that's obviously in reference to Star Citizen or in general?
No, in Star Citizen. Like, is the game? I mean, how much of a solo game do you think is there? And is it worth it at a solo game level?
I mean, I guess it depends on what you're into. I definitely think it's worth it. I definitely think there's a lot of gameplay there. I think where some of this discussion came from, I know Jar Jar and I had talked about people on Reddit and elsewhere who are always complaining about these new events that come out and how they're all geared towards big orgs. And maybe that's true. I mean, it's definitely a case where things can get locked down. I also feel like those big orgs tend to they get bored and they move off pretty quickly. You know, like you could go over to do Hathor right now, and there's probably no one there running it. Definitely not one of the big orgs. But I also feel like there does need to be content that's not necessarily like locked behind a group, but it should be done in a group, and it should be difficult. Some people they're always saying they want the whole game open to them. And I can understand that argument, but at the same time, I think it's cooler and makes the game seem bigger and more real if there's stuff that, a single person is just never going to get to. Maybe they can grind it out themselves and it might take them like a whole year or something. But yeah, that's generally my thoughts.
If you're in the game, you're going solo, Duke. What are you doing?
I'm mining or I'm doing some hauling.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to get into some of the little fetch missions and exploration type things, but there's just not enough of that, not enough at all. And what's in is just buggy. So that's why I tend to go with the mining or hauling because it works,
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't work anymore. Like there's old stuff, like everyone says how Ghost Hollow doesn't work anymore, but there's so many like other older missions that if they just put them all in, you'd have like a pretty decent amount, and then you could build your rep and that sort of thing. And But I want to say most of the content that was made for this game doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
It's broken in some way.
it's true, and it's fascinating that they put in all that work, and then just sort of quietly let it all die. And I know, obviously they did a huge overhaul. The way the servers work is different. The way they have to track the missions is different. Mission systems changing, etc. But still, I mean, do you remember what was the name of the private investigator mission? The one where you had to go out to the
Oh, yeah, the space
the
station had the
abandoned,
broken.
yeah, the abandoned space station, and you had
Yeah.
to, you float through it. Now, first of all, we did that back before we got the new EVA. So you were doing that
Yeah.
janky, terrible EVA to get through all, and it was still cool. As difficult as it was to get around, it was just very atmospheric. There was lots of cool things to investigate and read and stuff. Um, More of that. I want more of that. We have such a huge map, if you will. There's such a huge map out here with this game, and a lot of it is empty space, which obviously space is empty. But just fill it with stuff like that. You talk about when they bring on new people and they're like, oh, we had new staff do some updates to this little ship or something to get their hands wet, get their feet wet, get their hands wet, hands dirty, feet wet. Anyway,
It
I'm like,
depends what hemisphere.
right. I mean, I'd love to see them. Oh, we had this new guy come onto the mission team, and so we had him just set up a Starlancer wreck investigation mission. That's it. Something small. It was just floating in space. It's wrecked, and you have to go investigate. You find a notepad, whatever. Even though it's simple, but it's those missions to me were a lot of fun to do on your own. Very atmospheric. You felt like you were in the verse, and it kind of brought life to it.
All right.
You're
Sorry
stunned.
about
I've
that.
stunned into silence.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know why they were silent. I was doing technical
I was pondering.
things.
Oh no, that was beautiful. That was great.
Yeah, that's well said. Very well said.
Yeah. Well said, Duke. So Duke, you do have friends though, but you haven't been playing with us. I feel like life's been getting at
yeah,
you.
real life. And it always comes back to the same discussion. I
That'll
mean, if Star Citizen had a working economy, and if you could build towards something, if I was constructing a homestead or hauling, boxes for the org or something for a base, I'd be on more. But a lot of times my playtime is limited to maybe just 1 hour.
Because your mom.
Yeah, because my mom, because my kids,
Mm-hmm.
and if I want to jump on that 1 hour, that's maybe a couple of hauling missions, maybe a little bit of mining, but so what was it? The last time I was on playing by myself, and I did the um, who is it that wants the freaking cave copian horns? It's Ryobi or it's not.
Wicklow? No,
No,
Rayari.
Rayari,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Ryobi.
I was thinking about
But
doing those. I was like, this sounds like a
so
good cause.
so it was cool. I was like, yeah, I'll go find these caves. That was fun. Hunting the Copians. Kind of felt a little bad about murdering the wildlife.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
They're
but
an invasive species. You're
but
you're hoping the good
hey,
life.
Can I
dandelions
net
are an
them or
invasive
something?
species. Okay,
Invasive species. Do you see how few of them there
human
are? They
beings are an
fly
invasive
around.
species.
Yeah. What are
Um,
you talking about?
I killed them. I collected the horns, and then I flew to the drop off, which was for some reason being guarded by three ships. Um, but they just let me land, which was nice of them. I don't know what the hell they were up to. But then I get down there and I'm like, wait, where do I bring these horns? Um, and then through research online, the mission's bugged. So that was an entire hour flying around collecting horns. and then absolutely no progress was made.
There still isn't a lot of
You know, it was like, all right, cool.
That sounds too much like real life, honestly.
Yeah. And of course, like in the midst of that mission, I landed my cutlass on top of a cactus, apparently. Didn't notice, jumped out the side door, and then now the ship was out of reach. And the back ramp was not down, so there was no way to jump to that. So I'm like, oh, little ship remote control would be nice to open the doors. But thankfully, I had the big tractor beam with me and was able to grab an abandoned Aurora and just maneuver it into sort of a makeshift ramp and then go up there. But it's Chris Robert giveth and he taketh away.
Well,
that's
speaking
the
of
truth.
someone who giveth a lot, I giveth a lot to this show, giveth a lot to this org. If we could all scoot down on the couch a little bit. This gentleman's been here every episode. Yeah.
Just stopped counting.
Yeah.
We're getting
We got a fight
we're
last
getting
time about what
shortly.
episode this was. I want to say this is Tav. We talked about this. This is like 20-ish.
Well, no matter what happens, we agree on 20. We hold the line there.
It's 20.
Yeah,
I
it's
held
20.
the line.
Prove me wrong. Wicket, welcome to Open Comms Radio, your Star Citizen call-in show.
Citizens.
Welcome
Welcome.
back to the show.
And sleepers.
Excuse me?
If you know, you know.
Well, our question this week, Wicket, is do you need friends to play Star Citizen?
First of all, 19th time caller.
I swear it's at the
Long time
21st.
listener.
No.
Anyway, obviously everything's better with friends. No man is an island, that kind of thing.
Wow.
And especially in
Nice.
a large universe like Star Citizen, it's always better with friends. More to the point, if you have a good org behind you, you have to be big enough to say, "Hey, I need a hand. I need help." And that goes, that's in the real world. That's in our CIG universe that we're all playing in, and it just goes to the point of no one. Well, there are people that are loners, obviously, and that's their game loop. But in the long run, the game is way better with people to play with.
Oh, because you can do shenanigans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the last couple times I did play Star Citizen, and we got up to all kinds of stuff. Nothing was planned. It just happened. It just happened on the spot. We just decided to go somewhere, and next thing you know, we got a little epic tale to tell.
Yeah,
And
epic, yeah.
and with all the criticism I give CIG, I do really like Star Citizen. I love the game, and I wanted to succeed, and I wanted it to be good. Their predatory monetary practices aside, I hope they're successful, and I hope something comes of it all, and we can enjoy it all together.
Oh, here.
I mean, nothing like it.
Yeah,
for sure. It's wild playing other games, and really like that are really really good, and we'll get into that later. But then coming back to Star Citizen, and you're like, oh yeah, but like the fidelity on this game is like miles ahead. Get grandma units ahead.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But it seems like for the part that really kind of gets me, and it's always like a kick to the when all of a sudden they give us something, they give us some sort of gameplay or some kind of mission or some kind of experience that we can't get anywhere else, and then they do something stupid and just tarnish it, and it's like, why am I even bothering? It seems it's constantly this one step forward, two steps back, or maybe it's two steps forward, one step back, and I guess in that sense we are progressing.
Well, not the Prowler's not progressing.
No.
I
Well,
have high hopes
The
for
Prowler.
at least the base variant being fixed
well,
through this, through them working on the other variants.
it's
So.
going
Yo,
to be a
about
kidney. It's going to be a kidney shot when somebody buys the $400 32 SCU hauler and they can't get in the pilot seat because the ladder's broken.
It will be a kick in the pants.
yeah, I've always loved Alien Week, like the idea of Alien Week, but every year Alien Week just disappoints. They give you like remember on the back of the cereal box you had like puzzles, and it was like
Well,
translate this puzzle. That's what they gave you for
Yeah.
Alien Week.
They
I
have
like the
so
paints for
many.
this
There
year.
was some good releases there for a couple years. I don't know. There's a trading ship that's the Raylan. Am I saying that? I don't know.
That's not out.
Yeah, but that was released in an Alien Week, and
that was a
I feel like
JPEG.
Concepted.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's
concepted.
concepted. Okay.
I mean, you got the every
It's
now and
almost
then
like
the
real life.
Talon, the Shrike, and all that. That was. I'm pretty sure that was Alien Week, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Well-
but that was 7 years ago.
Was it?
I'll
Yeah, dude.
They got me last year.
No
I'll
way.
admit. I kind of had a crush on the 3-legged Sulin, and
What
got
was
me.
his name?
Giuseppe. I had the Sulin, but of course I had to upgrade that for something else. Eventually, and I was made fun of, and I flew it all the time,
Yep.
and I was made fun of.
I didn't make fun of you though. It was Duke, Drake, and Cosmic who made fun of you.
No, it was actually Minglewood.
Yes.
He was relentless.
Yeah, he was good at
in
it.
his criticism. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it really it struck a chord. I'll say,
It was funny.
but it's gone now.
Do you think they're going to release anything other than just the? I mean, I know we have kind of the leak. Do you think there's going to be any other releases for Alien Week than what
No.
we've discussed?
But-
no.
Oh, well, we have a poll. Did everybody answer the poll?
Mm-mm.
There's a poll?
Wiki, you didn't
I
answer?
didn't see the poll.
I don't.
Oh, guys, I was tagging in the
We have a
chat.
poll.
I
Did you
posted
have a
on Blue
poll?
Sky.
Were you
We have a
tagging us
poll.
in this chat?
We have,
Oh,
and,
there's the.
there's a poll. Do you know? Listen, it's too late now.
Oh.
The results are in.
I've been preoccupied. I'll say this. I've been very, very, very preoccupied as of late.
What are the results?
You gotta hold on. I can't find my own poll. Hold on. I should have pulled it up and then said I have a poll. Okay.
Well, it was about yeah. All right, keep going.
So our poll was, and then I gotta do this. Boom. Boom. Here we go. What ship do you most want to see from Alien Week? We got 12 votes. The options were the new Prowler variant.
Ah, look at their island. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
25% said they want to see a new Prowler variant. We also had the Dragon Ball Z Capsule Core orb.
I
That
would
got
have gone for that one.
17%. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how many people that is. Is that 2 out of 12 or 1 out of 12?
I feel like with all these polls, there's like two options, and then
And then the Gatic Raylan took it away. 42% of people. So like three people, 4 people, 42%, 5 people wanted the Gatic Raylan.
it's a cool looking ship.
I do have one in my hangar. So
Oh, that's all. I have a buyback for the. You know what got me on for it was the dang elevator. So it's supposed to have this elevator that just like magically goes into the ship, kind of like a lot of their other
the
technology.
containers make absolutely no sense, but we'll see what they do with that.
Yeah, they're all on the outside, right?
And they're triangle shaped.
Not
In a
anymore. They're
game-
gonna be
Right.
boxes, dude.
Where SCUs
Yeah.
are.
They're going to have to
boxes.
change that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's not going to look as cool. The triangles
It's
are
not.
cooler.
They are.
I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. And then Flying Saucer was also 17%. So just nobody wants like
Notable.
a saucer ship. No, I'm all alone. Okay, because I was the one who voted for it. So
Well, he has
There
a
you go.
crucible. It's a flying saucer kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. But it is interesting that, like, because I was like, oh, what ships am I going to put on? I was like, oh, there's not really like any alien ships that we know of coming out. So
Merchantman still ages away. The Braylon was supposed to be sooner, but that got punted. All alien ships were supposed to be on hold, but apparently that didn't apply to a friggin' cargo variant for a Prowler.
What a useless, stupid thing.
It's,
Come on.
I think CIG is really missing the boat here when it comes to the whole Alien Week concept. It's an awesome concept, and last year I thought they hit it out of the park with the Sulin. Granted, it wasn't the best ship in the world. It didn't have the most firepower. It didn't,
it's a
obsolete.
starter.
But
It was a super cool.
it was
looking
It was
starter, yeah.
It was a very alien concept, right? It was unique. It landed backwards, basically. That's the whole idea. I think when I think alien, I think, yeah, it's got to be something weird like that,
mhm.
And
I mean, the
think
Tavaran ships have their own. Tavaran are my favorite. So I would have been pretty excited about any other Tavaran. But instead we got what we got.
Well, speaking of aliens that we got, yeah, I got an alien waiting down here in the chat. It's
good.
also
What you
Tav.
did there.
We also forget. We always forget to do our Cruz Lux, ads.
Oh yeah, our ads.
I know.
Our
But luckily, I
ads.
think maybe
I think we
maybe
got
Lord
that covered
Nubis.
though now.
Lord Nubis, welcome to Open Comms Radio, your Star Citizen call-in show. How you doing?
This is
Well,
what we
Lord,
get for
he's not here. He's
outsourcing
not here. We're gonna pull him out.
ads.
We're gonna pull him out. We're gonna pull him
throw them away. Throw them away.
We're gonna pull up our other guest. I should have texted him before. Pull up our other guest here, waiting in the chat room. Murphy Jack, welcome to Open Comms Radio. Thank you for calling in. This week's question: do you need friends to play Star Citizen?
Do you need them? No, but do I think you need them? Yes. I mean, come on.
Yes, it says the org leader.
Like, I mean, I played the game alone for 4 years, and granted, there wasn't much going on, but back in those early days, but just the amount of stuff that we get up to together, it just makes it so much more enjoyable. I mean,
What would you
doing
call
it
those
solo
things?
is, I mean, it just
Like
any
those
just
groups of
just
things that
the
we
whole
do together.
gameplay. What would I call them?
What would you call them?
The activities we get up together?
Activities? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Just want to know what you would call them.
Still prefer
Ops
shenanigans.
is
expeditions,
shenanigans.
ops. Yeah, it all
Expeditions,
depends.
ops.
You know, if it's industry or rangers or
Interesting. I'm sorry I
it's
interrupted you.
it just the amount of stuff that we're able to do together, and then like just the amount of fun that we can have together is way more than solo. Solo just gets, to me, it just gets very stagnant. And I know a lot of people want to be able to play this game solo, but I just don't think that's. I don't think you should be able to.
You don't think you
And I don't
should
mean
be able to?
I don't think you should be able to like just accomplish the same that a group can accomplish if you're solo.
Agreed.
Like
Well,
it's
no one's
just
saying that,
makes
but
sense.
I mean,
People
they're
are
like,
definitely saying that.
oh yeah, people definitely want to be.
I guess
People
Lord, you
definitely
say
think
that.
that people definitely think that
Yeah,
they should just be
get all
able
the
to like,
same end content.
They should be able to
like all
solo
of
their
it.
capital ships. They should be able to solo every single event.
Well, how do we?
I hear all the time.
We can band together against these people, right?
Endgame should not be locked behind orgs, and it's like, well, there's a different endgame, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's also, like we said before, like, there's no end game, so there's no, you can do all these cool things,
Right.
but like what for? So that's part of it. But
I mean, maybe they just need to expand the bounty hunting, and they can do the Boba Fett or solo trader.
Fett.
I think it's a bigger
Boba
issue.
Fett.
than that.
Boba Fett.
Where?
I think it's a bigger issue than that. I think it's just maybe those type of people just, are lacking in the social graces, the social skills that they need in real life that, you kind of need in gaming. I mean, if you need any evidence, just go to Spectrum. It's kind of obvious.
Did you see the thing about them making a Spectrum app? There's something like iOS or something had made some kind of notification to people that there was some kind of Spectrum app. And they were like, "That's weird because we didn't do that." No one saw this.
No.
No.
I know of what you speak.
Wait,
See, you would.
what are you saying? CIG was unaware of this and they were surprised, or people in general?
How about tell me about it?
I didn't read too much about it, but they were feigning ignorance, I think, about it. CIG was feigning ignorance about it.
Were they feigning, or was it just ignorance?
Exactly.
It's okay. That's fair. It's not always easy to tell.
Murphy,
How did people get the
Storm.
notification?
Sorry.
What are you guys doing down there? Just shouting
We'll
at each
talk
other
about
during
it.
my
I
Star
think
Citizen
it's
podcast?
I think it comes up on the second segment of this.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, we're gonna have 2 segments to this show today. This is our normal Star Citizen call-in show segment. The second segment is all going to be about Dune Awakening.
Oh my goodness.
So if those of you who don't want to stick around for Dune Awakening, you don't have to. But if your name comes from the Dune series, you should hang out.
I know. I thought mine did, but someone always mispronounces it. So
No, but you know what? Not to get into it here, but speaking of, I have been playing Dune single player solo a little bit today. Not very long. And man, first of all, Wicket, you were right. I should not be in that location. Wicket picked me up from like the tutorial place and drove me out to their base. These enemies are tough, but I'm think I'm getting fast experience. But the second thing is it's totally fun and you can play it by yourself.
All the reviews I read said it was way better as a multiplayer game, though.
Oh yeah,
isn't that
but
basically all games? Like that's what we're saying about Star Citizen too.
Yeah. Oh no.
Name a game besides Solitaire that's better by yourself.
This is Wicket. This is why I didn't want to do it. We started talking about Dune, and then Anubis texted me. He's like, "Nah, I don't have Dune. Peace." And he left the caller waiting room.
Gotta get.
Yeah.
Well, we're not even on that section. You're the one who. I just
I
said
know.
one word.
I
said
moved.
one word.
You
I was
you were
supposed
the one
to
that brought it
moderate.
up. Bad moderator. Bad.
Thing is he was going to do the ad. He had a Cruz Lux ad.
What? Where is he? I mean, come on.
He left because we started talking about Dune.
Anubis?
I told you this happens.
See, you
No, you're
can't
not
trust
going to make
blue
anything
people.
off
He's
this.
blue. He can't help it.
Wow, that's
Does
racist.
anyone else have a Cruz Lux advertisement?
Drink it. It's good.
And there we go. Yeah.
It,
Stamp. It's done.
Tav, you know the one from yesterday?
You mean the last time?
Yeah, yesterday, last week. Can you read the one from last week, and then we'll do questions, close out, and then we'll talk about Dune?
You sure you want me to do this again?
I liked it. I mean,
All right,
and also
it's on the prompter. We'll go. Sometimes we feel the urge. We get up and we go. Traveling the verse can bring us unexpected challenges, and the Idris P is out there to put the fires out that come your way. With a huge capacity and facilities to maximize workflow, the UEE Navy keeps things zipped up and held back from the general lease for decades. But now there's no holding the P back. The Idris is proud to release the P into the verse. This week during a G's-a-thon, there are special incentives and a free test drives available. Visit your happy and hopeful Aegis dealer and see how you'll like their P today.
Aegis, a proud sponsor of Cruz Lux. Cruz Lux, proud sponsor of Open Comms Radio. Open Comms Radio, your Star Citizen call-in show. We talk about Star Citizen all the time, and people call in, and this week we had 4 callers. First, we're gonna open up with Cosmic Hobo. We're gonna close down with the person we opened up with. Hobo, anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
Give us Alien Week. Give us some paints. Give us a good war bond, please. Something on the lower end, not another merchantman, please. We get that all the time. That's it.
All right.
Not bad.
Yeah. Fully support. Duke Lato II. Anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
I would like a Tavaran exploration ship. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
want. I
Second,
think that would be really cool.
What would that look like?
I
Like
don't
a
even.
bird?
I'm thinking, yeah, but like,
big old bird.
I'm thinking
I
like
do like their
the
birds.
Talon, but like larger, elongated. I don't know.
That's fierce, dude.
Yeah.
Giant bird explorer. Okay, I'm into it. Wicket. Anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
Andy and Chris Roberts. Now listen carefully.
Did you say Andy?
And
Sandy.
Chris Roberts.
No, I heard
don't know any.
Andy.
I don't
I heard
have.
Andy and.
Do they have a kid named Andy?
I just want to make sure it's clear for whoever is out there,
Oh.
so they know.
Sandy and Chris Roberts. If you like story quests, Dune Awakening, check it out. If you don't have the time, send some of your devs, buy the game for them, and see what questing and what an MSQ could really be. I'm hoping, from what I've seen in Squadron 42, that maybe it might be on that level. I hope so, maybe even better. And if it is, you're going to have a solid hit on your hands. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to just rebuttal with that. I don't want Star Citizen to do the Dune main story quest style. And I can't wait. To get into this. Murphy Jack, Open Comms Radio, your Star Citizen call and show. Do you have anything to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
Well, bring on 4.2, get us back in there. Maybe draw us away from this other game.
Oh,
But another, like, I do hope that this whole variant thing with these ships doesn't go too crazy, right? Like
Cheap.
a Prowler
It's
cargo.
starting to get crazy.
I mean,
it's getting
and then
crazy.
you look at some of these, it's cool. It is cool. Whatever, it's not like we have to get it or anything, but you do have a little bit of a backlog. So let's blow us away for IAE, please.
that's what I like to
Nice.
hear.
Yeah.
You've given up on Alien Week, huh?
I didn't give up. I mean, it's cool. It's neat. It's just this was a very interesting choice, and I mean, it's probably not all that's going to come out, right? I mean, it's just interesting because the Prowler, right, Tav? I mean, the Prowler's been in a kind of a sore spot for a while.
Yeah, but 4 years.
The
It's
base
been
one.
almost unflyable in some regard
Yeah.
or another. At least certainly for two people.
Now, not to keep this going, but they did say that some of it's fixed, right? The cockpit's fixed, and
Yeah, it's
That-
got some work on it in 4.2,
That's
at least on the PTU.
exciting.
I don't have
Yeah,
one, so I
so-
can't
so
confirm
if it took
that.
getting
but
if it took getting the variant for that, then so be it. But yeah, IE, please blow us away.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, Tav, we did it again.
We
20
did it
episodes.
again. 20.
20, baby.
19.
It's 20.
It's 20. 20
It feels so
episodes.
much good, or it feels a lot better to take a break after the nice little.
The round
Yeah.
number.
Yeah,
It'd be like weird to take a break after like 18 or 19.
Yeah, 19. It kind of feels like we just said fuck it.
Yeah, like we almost like get like what just one more and you could have gotten there.
Right?
Like the meme of the guy who's mining and he's so close to the diamonds.
Yeah, we just gave up. No, we'll be back. We're just
Yeah.
going to take a small summer vacay break,
Yeah,
right?
1 week.
Yeah.
We're gonna take 1 week off. 20 episodes. We earned it. And we'll see you all after Alien Week.
All right.
Tap.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Da 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 da.